We can
She
wait.
would have been here.
We're running ahead of schedule, so we can keep going with something else if you want us to wait.
Well, how about I just start till she gets here? How would that be?
That works?
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, I think everybody knows me. I'm Chris Fordyce representing the SWCD. Jill's on her way with some pamphlets to hand out to everyone. As we've done in the past, we're still doing quite a bit here in the county. She's got the numbers so I can show you, but the main thing we're coming to request from you today is, as you all know, we created another position last year, and Cora Brown has filled that position. And we started her as a third deputy, and we would like to raise her up to the second deputy. And then, and I'm ashamed to say that we also requested our budget for the office funds, which we left that the same. The one thing I would like to share with you, going forward, that we have another position there at the office that so far has been funded through grants from the federal government. Needless to say, we don't know what's going to happen in the next farm bill, but probably next year we might request $20,000 more to go toward that person, but that's a year down the road. But I just thought I would bring it up this morning, and really, that's all I've got to say, unless anybody's got any questions.
No, I think that that's really, really helpful, Chris. So I'm looking at your budget and your supplies. You've already spent the entire amount that was in that line item. So do you have more supplies that you're going to need to be purchasing? Or did you kind of buy it, did you buy it in bulk?
We bought in bulk.
Okay. So that should get you through to the end of the year?
As far as I know, I think it will.
Okay.
Yes, and I'm ashamed to say that. That would be a question for Jill.
Okay.
And,
So when we said, oh, go ahead, Ben.
Chris, the technician we have now, that you're wanting to increase, I guess. That started out as a grant person, didn't it?
yes.
We started out with that, and we paid part or something,
Yes,
and that it turned in.
yes.
And now you're looking at the potential next year that you just brought up, that might be able to grant that, but that might also turn into.
That's right. And honestly, it might be 2 years from now before that ever happens.
Well, they may start throwing around more money again.
Yes,
Before that time, we might not have a problem.
but yeah.
That's all I had.
We thought, I thought it would be good to bring it up, just to kind of give everybody the heads up where we're going. Right now, we do have one position we've got to fill, one of our watershed coordinators that, not to bore everybody with our stories, but we've been very fortunate over the last 2 or 3 years. We have some of these younger ones come in, and we get them trained, and then they move on to bigger and better things. And so we've had that happen again. And so we're in the process of hiring another person to fill this vacancy. And I think we've got a very good candidate, a young lady from, she's originally from Indianapolis, went to school at Ball State. She said she'd like to come to the hills of southern Indiana. And so we're keeping our fingers crossed. And as everybody well knows, it's hard to find somebody to fill these positions. And
Chris, do you have, you might not have this number off the top of your head, but I'm going to ask anyways.
okay.
Do you know, for every dollar that the county invests, what the return on investment is for what the work that you all do, or alternatively, how much money you all are bringing into the county?
Well, the only thing I don't know this year's figures because that's what's in this pamphlet.
Yes,
But I'm sure it's going to be, the dollars coming into the county is probably going to be 3.5, 4 million, if not probably more. And I'm ashamed to say that I was waiting for that packet so I could just show everybody but we've been extremely busy, so I feel like it's going to be pretty close to that.
yes, that's great.
And I could be off too. You know, the pandemic thing has actually changed some things around, and because everybody has dealt with that, so. You know,
Phil, it makes me think about, the intent of the commissioners to hire a grant writer over the last 3 years that hasn't really come to fruition. But it seems like you have some secret sauce going on to be able to bring in a lot of outside resources to help the community. Just wonder how that could be applied to the rest of the
I'm
county.
not disagreeing with you, it's just finding somebody that will do it.
No, I know. And you guys have you figured something out.
well, the thing about it is, yes, we do some grants. But see, so much of the money that we're bringing in is from the programs they set up for the farmers, where it would be the EQIP or CRP or some of these acronyms where, the big thing of it is it's federal dollars out there that, yes, there are grants, but at the same time, it's not like we're writing one big grant to get this. I mean, as an example, just like for Todd and I at the farm, one of the things that we apply for is an NWQI. I cannot tell you what those acronyms stand for, but the thing of it is it's for cover crops that we sow in the fall of the year. And in our case, it totals up to $50-some thousand. And so, you start thinking about the other 75 farmers in the county. Some of them less, some of them more. So see, that's where the bulk of this comes in, so.
Well, having that knowledge base though of the outside resources so that people in our community can have access to that is so important.
Chris, to add to what you just said, the federal government brings these programs in. It's not something that's found through a grant writer or so on.
Right.
A lot of them. I mean, there are a few.
There's a few that we do. I mean, the one thing that the grant writing process for us is like Clean Water Indiana, where we do write and we usually coordinate with like in the previous year, we jointly done it with Scott County and Harrison County, where we did write the grant to the state, and between the three counties, we shared, 150-some thousand. And now, this coming year, we're going to apply for one, which we're going to team up, I think, with Floyd County, and probably going to ask for about the same amount of money. So that way we'll have more money for Washington County than what we did last year. But, there's some nuances that goes with that, and you got to deal with too. And then also just these watersheds, where you get the 23 Click Branch or the South Fork Blue River, and like those will be a 3-year grant and what was about 350-some thousand. But the good thing with those, as people come in and apply for different practices, sometimes you get the overlap where Ruth can use the EQIP funds with it, this NWQI funds with it, and so then, the original deal may be $8,000, and before it's all said and done, it turns into $20,000. So So, you know, it does make it, even though those dollars are maybe not the big dollars, it's still big enough dollars that attracts these others that to come to join up with it. And the thing about it is, especially with Ruth at the helm and the driver for most of this conservation thing is really a big deal. Well, all of us. But she is such a big proponent of it and does such a good job of getting with these individuals. And as an example, she was talking the other day, there was excuse me, a guy from Indianapolis that bought some ground, and I think down in Buffalo Bottoms. And, you know, mainly done it for the hunting. But at the same time, he's thinking of the future. And so he come in, was talking to Ruth about forestry management. So there's money out there for forestry management where, you know, we can go through the county with Nathan Kaknavich and he can go write this forestry management plan. And the thing about it is, and I can't tell you exact figures, but you know, over I think this one will be a 3-year deal, and it was going to be $50,000, you know, total. You know, but it does it in stages, but at the same time, it's already been not only beneficial to the county with the money coming in, but just for the ground, for the forestry management, thinking we're leaving it better for the next generation and the future ones to come. So, Keely asked, have you spent all of your budget as far as office supplies now?
For this year, $2,000, we're probably getting close.
I was wondering if you had more expenses that you needed to pay for this year, or if it was going to get you through and you expect that same amount to get you through next year.
I think we should be okay. A lot of our expenses, sometimes we can route through grants.
Okay.
And, but I think right now, you know, I think we're on the line, but I think it should be okay.
Okay, great.
I don't have the number in front of me, sorry.
No, that's okay.
Maybe we'll request $2,500 for next year just to be sure. How would that be?
Well, you're the expert. You're the expert on your budget. I just was looking at our numbers and saw that 2,000's already been spent out of the 2,000 that you asked for.
That's at the beginning of the year, they get one check for $2,000. It goes straight to them.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, that makes sense.
Okay.
I've got something here, Chris.
Okay.
On this one page, it says the Indiana Conservation Accomplishments. We've got 1,145 that shows on here. We've got 1146 with the dark blue. Can you not work out one more deal? Because there's only 2 other counties that
That's the
are in the
one
dark
right
blue.
And,
So we have to be ranked 3rd because we're one off again on the top tier.
well, we will
That's
certainly
impressive. I will say that is impressive. We're going up against the whole state like that.
Yes, we'll certainly try. We're always trying to get that next one, that's for sure.
I'm a little disappointed.
Okay.
Well, weren't we at like 1 or 2? Haven't we been like in the, so these other counties must have just went crazy to implement these other practices in just a couple of years.
Yeah, I think 2 years ago, we were number one.
Yeah, and then last year I think we might have been 2.
Yeah, we will.
I mean, they're almost 1,000 practices more than us. Nice. Well, thank you all for all.
Next year.
Do what?
So we've got a goal then.
Yeah, that's for sure.
We
Well,
always shoot to do
The
that.
top 3's not good enough. It wasn't.
That's right.
well, thank you all for all you do. We really appreciate it. And it's so good to see the amount of money that is returned on the investment that the county makes into your organization, into your work. So thank you. And this is always one of my favorite, presentations during budget time.
I apologize for being late.
You weren't, I don't think you were late. We asked Chris to start late. Yes.
Okay.
All right. Thank
Thank
you
you.
all.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too.